to the roar of the crowd. What a memorable Breeders' Cup Classic. It's a race for the ages.
Two guys at a classic are back, and this weekend, literally, it's a classic. More on that in a minute up at Saratoga. But first, here is why you need to listen to everything I have to say this week. Watch this. I liked Texas Red the whole time, even when the field was larger. I wanted a price with him, which is where I'm putting my money. You gave me 20 bucks to bet. I'm betting on Texas Red to win.
We do know what to expect, I think, from American Pharoah.
Yeah, I think so too. And for my long shot, it's Keen Ice. I think that's a great price. 12-1 right now, as at the time of this taping. We'll see what it is at the post. But 12-1 when he was among the best of the rest at Belmont, I like that number here. Who's the man? Who's the man?
As you know, in horse racing, you're only as good as your last bet, Mr. Weinstein. So we'll see how things shake out this week. And this week's a much bigger challenge. You got 57 bucks on your 20 on Texas Red. You got a 1080 Exacta cold with American Pharoah on top. Excellent work, but the Whitney poses a much stiffer challenge.
It does. And you know what? But I know you're jealous, because in direct response to this, we have 20 bucks to bet every week. You changed it to 50. I know that has everything to do with what I did a week ago.
In horse racing, we like to call that chasing. At least I didn't have to visit the ATM machine, my friend.
All right, you know, listen, we can both agree on this. Nice to see American Pharoah look like he did a week ago. He's back. He's the king once again. He wasn't in a field like this, like you alluded to at the Whitney. I don't think I've ever said this before. I can make a case for all 10 horses. I'm not going to, but I can. This is as deep as it gets.
7 Grade 1 winners in the field, Bram. A lot of them based on the East Coast, some of them based in the Midwest. Honor Code's a 3-1 morning line favorite, but the big question mark over his head is whether or not 9 furlongs is actually his best distance. The last time he won was at the Met Mile in his most recent start. That was a one-turn race. He rallied from way off the pace and was visually impressive doing it, but what is he going to do over 9 furlongs against this stiff competition?
Yeah, you know, if he does what he did a couple of months ago, he can't be beat. But can he do that again? Feels like a career race. How about Noble Bird? He was really impressive as well.
Yeah, and I think the connections are really happy with the way he's trained at Saratoga. He won the Stephen Foster last out, defeating a legit crew of horses, including the Casse Lee, who will also be in the Whitney on Saturday. So those two were new acquaintances in a different venue.
Liam's map has been dominant, so he deserves this shot, but he feels like he's in a fight with Tyson and Rousey at the same time. It's like almost unfair that he stepped up to this.
Yeah, well, he's going to have his boxing gloves on, and he's going to have to answer the bell big time because you don't have Velazquez, you don't have Castellano. For Todd Pletcher, those two guys ride for him in every graded stakes race. So considering that Mike Smith's aboard, those two jockeys are elsewhere, Liam's map is going to have to really step up to the plate and run better than he has, but he has been awesome so far in his career.
Here's the craziest part of the whole thing. 2 horses ran in the 2014 Kentucky Derby. They have the longest odds on the board. Wicked Strong at 20-1. 20-1 in any race whatsoever. It's amazing.
Yeah, and not only that, the horse that won this race last year, Moreno, he won it at 10-1 last year. He's a defending champion. He's 12-1 in the morning line. So like you said, 10 horses, massive competition, and a great wagering race.
You know, I'm obligated to make a pick. I'm going to say this up front. I'm not confident with anything. I think you throw a dart at the board with this. I'm going to take Lee, though. I think he's a Mazerati. I think he's the most consistent. His worst race was over in the Middle East. He came back here, and when he is as good as he normally is, he is practically unbeatable. He's my most likely winner. And I'll take Coach Inge with the odds as a long shot here at 15-1. He's tough to shake. He runs these distance races. He likes to run up front, and he's got resolve. So I think he's the one that makes the payout worthwhile and hits the board somewhere.
Yeah, like I said, anybody can hit the board. I'm going to take the horse that beat you last time, Bram, in Kentucky, and that's Noble Bird. Defeated Lee in the Stephen Foster. He's trained like a monster at Saratoga. I think he will run a huge race for sure. Whether or not it's good enough, that remains to be seen. And a couple of years ago, Normandy Invasion was touted as the next racing superstar. He never lived up to that. He hasn't run fast enough to compete with this field so far this year, but Larry Jones is good, and at 30-1 in the morning line, I think he's worth including in your gimmicks.
And you're making me make a bet here. I would probably pass and bet other races, but I don't have a choice, which means you're going to catch me in the money race for sure now. Here's what I'm going to do. I like Lee. I'll put him on top. So I'll take a stand here. I'll pick one of these horses. I put him in a trifecta wheel on top. Noble Bird, and a bunch of others, Tonalist as well, and Moreno, who's got the odds, and Wicked Strong, who's got some odds. So I'm looking for a payout there. The extra $20 I'm going to put on Coach Inge to come and show and see if I can get a nice payout for him hitting the board.
Well, Bram, if you hit that try, your bankroll will be big enough for the next 5 years of two guys in a classic, so good luck with that one. I'm going to go with Noble Bird, win, and double the place bet on him with kind of a conservative wager, and then try to hit the Exacta with several other horses. Noble Bird is a 3. We're going to box him up with 1, 2, 4, 7, and 10. That's how I will utilize my $50 and hope for the best.
Yeah, our classic top 10 is going to change this week clearly by the results of a week ago, and they're going to change again after whatever happens at Saratoga this weekend as well. Here's the notable ones for me. Texas Red was very impressive. He beat Frosted. He moves up. And I like Beholder, the filly. I'm going to stick her in. She has been dominant in her races, so she's towards the back half of the top 10 for me now.
I think it's really cool. I mean, she's been destroying the females out west. She is as good or better than she's ever been at the age of 5, and the connections are looking at the Pacific Classic for Beholder, and that means potentially pointed to the Breeders' Cup Classic. And how cool would that be to see American Pharoah against all the other males and throw the female in their Beholder? That would be a race for the ages.
It's the Breeders' Cup Challenge Series. Win and you're in. Win this one and you deserve it. Saturday, August 8th, the Whitney on NBC from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Seriously, scale of 1 to 10 here. How confident are you in any pick in this race?
I would say about a 5, and that happens to be Noble Bird's odds, so maybe that'll be a good omen, my friend.
No, they're feeling good about you. They sent you a background for this. I don't have a background yet. I need to. You look way more professional than I do this week. So maybe after and I'm the one who won a week ago, which is amazing to me.
I guess they just felt bad for me. Sometimes it's how not how well you do, but how good you look doing it, my friend.
Yeah, consolation. It's the Thanksgiving pie. Everybody's a winner. You walk out with the pie. For Joe, I'm Bram. 2 guys in a classic. We'll see you in a month.
Field sent on their way to the roar of the crowd.